I do not simply disagree with you. I consider the fight against drugs a war. There's a crisis in this country. It's drugs. We might still end up like the South American countries under fractured governments. I am declaring war. I am not ordering the police to just a few punitive action. That's why it was not me or I that declared the drug problem and placed it at a level as a national security threat. It was President Arroyo then who was so worried about the problem that she raised it to the level of as a national security threat, and therefore calling the armed forces to do something about it also. But it was not just being brutal that, usually the army does not. You know, if the military will not do its part and leave it to the police alone, we cannot ever suppress the drug problem. It has infected every nook and corner of this country, involving generals, mayors, governors, barangay captains, and so many of the ninjas. They call them, these are the police who are into it. So today I might be inclined to place a reward on their head the members of the ninja or members of the police who are then protecting the drug syndicates in this country. I'm placing per head 2 million. And if you are there, you might want to ipagbili mo na yung mga kaibigan ninyo. I want the police and the armed forces to destroy the drug apparatus in this country. We are a transshipment of so many countries. I just, for a matter of courtesy, in front of the diplomatic corps, I might just do it some other time. But we all know that the Philippines is also a transshipment. If I could just have the matrix there in front of you, then maybe you'd start to believe in me. I have this sworn duty. I am no big politician. I am just a mayor of a faraway city in the south, just facing Australia. And on a clear day, you can see the Australians swimming there in the beach. I came from that place, and I was not even a national figure. But what brought me to the presidency, I really do not know. What gave me, what is really with a huge 15 million, 6 million of which was really the margin above my closest opponent. So what is the message of the Filipino? Well, I conducted a very simple campaign. When I said, my countrymen, if given a chance by God and the Filipino people, I would destroy corruption in government. And it will be done. Whether they like it or not, it will be a clean government at the end of the day. I said I will fight criminality and drugs. Most of the criminal acts are really on the account of the drug meanings. So, I will not relent. The campaign will be continuous, and I will be, as I have said in the campaign rallies all over the country, I will be harsh as I can ever be. When you fight a war, do not give me. I will finish this problem of corruption, drugs, and crime. And I hope at the end of my term, and even if it's, I've been telling Congress, hurry up the federal system, because I said, you follow the country with the presidential office, because that would hold together the country. For example, like France, the only elected leader is aside from nationally, it's the president. He has a very limited power, but powerful ones. Powerful statements, but very limited. Do not ever commit the mistake, Filipinos, of going into a pure parliament. It would be disaster for this country. Somebody should hold the armed forces and the police to control the country. In the meantime that we march forward to the progress to the next century, and after this, children and our children would have proven it. But at this time, it would be good to have a federal system, because the present unitary type has done us no good. It is an unfair thing. It's the same office, Malacanang. That's why I do not say Malacanang. I just say the People's Palace. Sometimes they call it Malacanang. The word Malacanang is one of the vestiges of imperialism. I'm not comfortable with it, actually. And I should understand when I say I do not ever mention Malacanang. I just say it's a People's Palace. It is the People's Palace, actually. Ayaw kong gamitin yung. So, I do not want to take much of your time. I dedicate again in front of the brave Filipino soldiers who died for us, and we continue to honor them. And this message I have imparted to the military and the police very clearly. You will have my support. You will have all the things that you need to fight criminals. Do not worry. In the pursuit of law and order, pursuant to my directions, you do not have to worry about criminal liability. I will go to the prison for you. I take full legal responsibility. You just do it according to the books. There will always witnesses, and if you have the witnesses on your side at the time, it might be okay. If there is none, and you are already pressed down, then do not worry. Just call my name, and I will be there to protect you. But for those in government, the police, the corrupt police, and the corrupt judges and the corrupt prosecutors, there will be a day of comeuppance. There will always be a day of reckoning. I hope, I said, we do not want violence. Nobody does. We cannot build a country over the bones of our own citizens. But my God, maybe far and wide in the history of this country, you might not really be meeting someone next time or at all. The kind of mindset that I have. My country first. Do not destroy the Filipinos. As it is, you had drug and criminality has destroyed a part of this generation, our children. You do not hit them hard because the corrosive money effect of money corrupts everybody there. You'd be surprised, the generals and all. Bantay kayo dyan. Talagang matindi to. But as far as I'm concerned, if you are with the government, if you are with the law enforcement, and you start to, then I will not allow you to be buried here. No such thing. I'll burn you at the cremation. Strong words, there's no bravado in it except the sincerity. You know, I do not want to repeat this kind of... but when I was mayor of Davao City, and I was for 22 years, 4 years as the vice mayor of my daughter, and 3 years as a congressman, 3 years as a... when I became mayor in 1988, I was at the crossroads of the lifting of martial law. Cory won, and there was so much disorder in my city. And I just simply said to the hold-uppers, to the drug syndicates, to the criminals, please leave my city. If you do not leave my city, I will kill you. And for those who did not bother to move, they died. That's an open confession. I have not reached that point. But maybe, if you are the persistent, if you still find drug a viable economic livelihood, then there's always something to be. There is always a drawback in this planet. You cannot have your cake and eat it. I said that pity, the guys are there already in the graves. So be it. I will be happy to join them. No problem about that. Prison, no problem. I will go to prison. I will not even ask for a special room. Just give me a bed with the foam. Give me something to read. There's so many books piling up, and I have not really had the chance to read them all. So, do not scare me about the human rights. Those guys are genocide. But sino ba pinatay ko? Wala naman akong pinatay na bata. I did not drop barrel just like, I'll name them Assad. And the rest of the idiots there in... I do not burn women because they refuse to have sex. I simply want the law-abiding and God-fearing citizens of this country comfortable. Period. No, they are not molested. They can go about anywhere in town. The streets are for their children. They should come home safe and sound. That they are not held up, no hold up, no nothing. We will reach that point. You have to remove me as president or pray that I will die in the meantime with no resurrection. Huwag mo na ako takote yung UN crimes. You must be crazy. Genocide. I'm fighting against criminal. From here, I will fly to Samar. Why? Because I have to commiserate with the family of Gary. Forgot his name. He's a policeman and he was also killed. There are a lot. It's 2 soldiers or police a day for me. Pagkatapos lilipad naman ako. We're doing all right with the Abu Sayyaf. So that we go back to my premise of the speech. The problem is terrorism and drugs. It's confronting America, terrorism and drugs. Here, it could be China, there's an insurrection there. Thailand, they're blowing up. Turkey is on the edge right now. So, if you just think of just, arresting them and the O'Brien, kaya ng mga sundalo, pati police, remember this. Mahal ko kayo. Kaya lahat na binigay ninyo, I'm not, so, mabuti nga, kaping. This was my practice even when I was in grade 1. That's why I always pass, but only the 75 level. because I usually copy. All study, no play, very bad. This was handed to me by Secretary Jokno. It was a very, I think he's the best that ever was as budget secretary. That's why publicly I'd like to thank you, sir, for accepting my offer to join the cabinet. I really appreciate it very much. And also I might announce that I'm appointing, most of my appointees are really military men, but not because of anything. I do not crave for loyalty for somebody to nurture personal loyalties to me. This is not a dictatorship. I'm going, and I said you can have if you can perfect the federal system 3 years from now, I have 6 years, I will retire. And I'll give way because I cannot be a candidate of an office that was created during my term. So I would be totally out of the picture. And I would gladly step down. No problem about that. And if there's the liability of so many military men, just point it out. But it was Duterte who gave the order. That we had to defend ourselves because we have the widows and children to worry kung ang kalaban mauna. Go ahead, just do your work. But do not, please do not join the other side because you will be the first in the list. Kayo ang mauna. Now for those who were not paid by the previous administrations, actually all of them, for release is 4.7 billion for the payment of the total administrative liability, TAD, arrears of widows and deceased World War II veterans and AFP retirees who are 80 years old and above. The amount is appropriated in 2016 budget but not released by Aquino. Well, talaga yung pangalan niya. Never mind him. Dumaan na siya eh. It's no longer his problem. The joint IRR to implement the release has been signed by Secretary Jokno and Secretary Lorenzana. 3.5 billion for the widows. Be careful if you are not loyal to your wives. She might be joining the 3.5 billion for the widows. And if I were the wife, I'd think again now of there's 3.5 billion waiting for me. And 1.2 billion for the AFP retirees. So, okay na ba yan? Kulang po daw, sir. So, it will be released as soon as possible. Yung, for the, God forbid that you are the recipient, God forbid, but automatic from my social fund, it's automatic 250,000 pesos. Hindi yan kasali sa mga ano-ano nyo. That's purely from me, sa Office of the President. So, and the 20,000 to immediately get hold of the money. And, you know, Filipinos, they have this habit. I did just share with you the idiosyncrasies of the Filipinos. I do not know they got it, but I said, maybe I'm not trying to offend anybody. But the practice is for 9 days. If you die here, the practice is 9 days before you can be buried. So on the 9th day, so first you are poor in the rural areas, you have to sponsor a dinner lunch for the 9 days away. The same cannot part with their loved ones. But that is a culture which has to be corrected, little by little. It's deeply rooted in our religion, and though it's not a good one, I've been, and also with the birth of family planning, I will push it hard, really hard. We need the family planning, and we need to rationalize everything there. So I'd like